Due to extremely negative player backlash combined with every gaming news outlet and YouTuber covering the story, Jagex upper management have reversed their decision on the Runelite HD plugin created by RS117. So let's discuss the true effect a player base can have on the game and the real change a player base can actually achieve when they work together, and have a look at the absolutely fantastic HD plugin. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Josh Hayes. A few days ago, I, along with every other MMO YouTuber and several gaming publications, covered the news of Jagex banning RS117's Runelite HD plugin. Now, RS117 had been working on a standalone HD plugin for the Runelite client for about 2 years, and on the 11th hour, literally the day it released, Jagex turned around, despite already knowing about this project, and said, no, you can't release that. This decision was likely made by an out-of-touch higher executive who wasn't actually aware of how passionate the community had been about this project, and the backlash was intense. Enough people unsubscribed to actually knock their bottom line. Enough gaming publications covered it to actually put Jagex in the spotlight and make them answer the question, why? Why are you banning this? So let's have a look at it, because it is beautiful. Before we begin, consider dropping a like on this video or subscribing to the channel for more MMO stuff. Ring the bell for all the future notifications. And as usual, a massive thank you to all the supporters on Patreon and Twitch who keep the channel going. More on this at the end. For now, let's begin. The backlash to the Runelite HD plugin being banned at the 11th hour was just terrific to see. Nothing brings people together like a common enemy. And while I love RuneScape, I don't always love Jagex. The community rallied together, subscriptions were ended, riots were held in Falador, Nan got locked in the cage again, and eventually Jagex broke radio silence to give us this update. We hear your feedback loud and clear, and we've been discussing that feedback all day, and while discussions continue, we absolutely intend to act on it. Our conversations have also included 117scape and Adam from Runelite, and we're actively exploring options on how we can work together to offer 117scape's plugin as a bridge until our own version is ready for release. We perfectly understand that you all have a voice in old school RuneScape, and that voice at times can be one of frustration regarding the decisions we make. Be assured we are always welcoming your feedback, whether good or bad. We don't always get it right, we're only human, and now we are rectifying our approach. That said, we have seen unacceptable levels of abuse toward individual staff members on social media in the last 24 hours, which we will not tolerate. The team is filled to the brim with people of passion. Please try to remember that behind the crowns, there are real people trying to do their best for the game and its community. Now this reads as a very corporate "we'll do better" statement, and at no point do they actually say sorry for letting down the community, because in business land saying sorry is a sign of weakness and should be avoided at all costs, but they do have a point about the abuse. An MMORPG game will attract people with addictive personalities. It's literally designed to attract that demographic of people. And people sometimes get so heavily invested and involved in whatever MMORPG game they play, it becomes their lifestyle, it becomes their personality. The game transcends being a game and effectively becomes a cult. And any attack on the game, any criticism of the game is seen as a personal attack against the individual, against the player, and they will take it as an insult, and they'll lash out when that happens. And that's not safe, that's not healthy, that's not a good place to be. And I'll be talking in the future about MMORPG addiction and how it changes people, because it is a real thing. It is never, under any circumstances, acceptable to harass a developer or even an executive for making a decision you don't like about a game that you play. At the end of the day, it's a game. They're my entire world, they're my entire job, and they're still just games. It's okay if people make decisions you don't like. You can vote against them, democratically, legally. You can vote with your wallet. You don't like a decision a company has made? Walk away. A company is a service industry. If they aren't providing you the service you want, they walk away. But something good has come of all of the negative press around it. RuneScape and RS117 opened up a communication channel, they spoke, and now the HD plugin is being released for Runelite. Let's have a look at what Jagex said about all that. The talks ended well, and there was an official update posted to the old school RuneScape site, linking to RS117's Discord. Now, a few people have asked me, why don't old school RuneScape just link directly to runelite.net? Because runelite.net is the real one, and all of the fake websites like Runelite.com or Runelite.org and many other pretenders are just phishing sites. Wouldn't Jagex be looking out for player safety if they linked to the correct one? Well, linking to a third-party launcher would be a legal nightmare. You'd essentially be accepting business responsibility as a company over something you'd not made, and if anything did go wrong, Jagex might be seen as liable, and they don't want that. The truth is, Runelite is highly likely completely safe. The lawyers at Jagex just don't want to be directly connected. So this loose grats on the plugin, hey, go over to this Discord to find it, is probably the closest official recognition we're ever going to get. But the question you're all asking now, how is the plugin? Well, to get it, you'll need to go to the plugins section of Runelite, scroll all the way to the bottom and go to the plugin hub and search for 117. Then install it, turn it on, and let's compare. This is what old school RuneScape looks like playing through Runelite with no graphical changes. This is the original experience simply using Runelite as a third-party launcher. This is essentially what RuneScape would look like if you downloaded it from the official launcher as well. This is, as far as Jagex care, what RuneScape should look like. Then you have the GPU plugin, which comes with Runelite as standard. This can increase the render distance and smooth some animations out, such as running or combat. It also adds in distance-based fog, also some anti-aliasing options. It looks nicer. And this is RS117's HD plugin. Even further draw distance, retextured floors, items and objects, dynamic lighting, with effects such as magic spells, fires and flickering torches casting dynamic shadows from moving objects, including enemies and player avatars. 16 times anti-aliasing options. There's even multiple colorblind settings to make it more comfortable for the maximum amount of players. The buildings have brick textures. The floor is now dirt. The water ripples and sparkles. You can even change the skybox from traditional black to old school blue or even 2008 tan color. You can toggle the Tsar rework on or off. You can toggle the quality of shadows or how many light sources you want to render. Honestly, this makes the game look absolutely stunning. And if there's one update that's going to bring more players into the game, it's a graphical update, leaving the gameplay unchanged. RS117 has given the people what they want, and they've done it solo. I spent a while wandering around Gillinor, seeing how things used to look and how they look now. And here's some highlights of my journey. Congratulations to RS117 for this absolutely phenomenal plugin. Definitely one of the best updates Old School RuneScape has had in many, many years, and for the Runelite team for working with him and checking over his work, and to all of the RuneScape community who forced Jagex to stand up and pay attention to this terrible choice they'd made. It's never ever acceptable to harass or insult or threaten a developer or an executive of a company just because you disagree with their decision. You can vote with your wallet. You can show how you feel by just walking away, and if enough people do that, as they did with this update, the company will be forced to acknowledge their decision was wrong and, hopefully, change it. It wasn't the riots in Falador, it wasn't the setting up of cannons, it wasn't the memes. It was the army of players voting with their wallets and backing up RS117 that forced Jagex to change. It was the moment Jagex realised how serious the community was and how willing a lot of people were to make noise and stop paying. I think it's fair to say that I love RuneScape, but I think Jagex as a company are approaching the either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain moment in their company direction. The whole thing has shown how out of touch the upper management are with the real community, so hopefully they'll take it as a wake-up call and let the old school developers who understand the feeling of the community and the game on a day-to-day basis have a lot more say and authority in how their game is run. RS117's HD plugin for Runelite is available now, and RS117 has a Twitter and a Patreon. Links to both are in the description below. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much to RS117 for this amazing plugin, and as always, have a great day.